Hi, welcome to Consciously Healthy. I'm Laura.
And I'm Claire.
And today we are talking about what is on my mug.
Fabulous and feminist. Are you?
I am. Are you?
I am.
What does feminism, modern feminism, mean to you?
Oh, that's an interesting question because I don't personally resonate with the feminist movement of the kind of the 60s. I think Germaine Greer is an amazing human being, and I truly believe that the message that they brought through was needed at the time, but I think that things have moved on from then. I don't, the message that we received then was actually to be equal, we have to be like a man. Mm-hmm. We have to equal men and look like men, and actually that's not where I that doesn't resonate with me. And you?
I agree. For me, modern feminism is important. I think it's to do with equality. I recognise that men and women are different, and I celebrate that. But I like equality. I'm a big fan of equality and not... Yeah, I think that's...
And it's really easy for people to say, I mean, that's ultimately what being a feminist means, isn't it? Is that somebody who believes that women should be equal to men in all ways. Not be men, be equal to. And... the thing that's coming up a lot at the moment is the gender pay gap.
Yes. Oh, you've got something to say about this.
I do, because actually, feminism also for me really encompasses positive body imaging, not body shaming. I've always really respected Kate Winslet because she has, spoken out about not airbrushing. She's, always really kind of come across as sort of body positive, and she's always been a little bit of a poster girl for the feminist movement, right?
Yeah, love her.
And then there was an article on social media yesterday saying how she's spoken out against the gender pay gap discussions by saying it's all a bit vulgar. I'm British and we don't like talking about money. It's a bit vulgar, don't you think?
Yeah, I like talking about money.
Well, I don't really see why we oughtn't.
Important.
I'm not really good at that whole things we shouldn't talk about. Bearing in mind the first thing that we usually start talking to people about is poo and sex and...
Yeah, I think it's important to be talking about this kind of stuff.
Our hourly rates are on the internet. It's like I don't really understand.
That surprised me.
Me too.
But I do think that particularly British society is changing when it comes to modern feminism. I was saying to you earlier this morning that I was reading a blog post this morning about how Playboy are changing they're having a bit of a relaunch. And from March 2016, they're no longer going to have nude women in their magazines, and they are trying to become more inclusive with both men and women, and they're looking to raise the discussion about relationships and sexual relationships between men and women from a healthy perspective. And I was like, wow, game on.
That's really interesting.
I'm excited by that, because I've also read some horrible articles about the Playboy Mansion and Hugh Hefner and Play Bunnies, of what they've kind of had to go through in the last sort of 50 years. And I think it's really positive that Playboy are doing something different. I hope it's a success.
Because, I mean, not long ago there was a big petition, wasn't there, to get rid of page 3 boobs. And that was interesting because you and I had a real disagreement on that. Because I was like, I think that's brilliant, because a lot of the time I experienced this when I was breastfeeding was, a man walking out of, it's not like I walked around with my boob out, but when I was sat in a coffee shop very discreetly, breastfeeding my child with a muslin, you couldn't see a thing, muslin, around her, and, just very discreet. It looked like I was cuddling her. And, I was told it was disgusting as he clutched his son under his arm. And I just thought, well, this is ridiculous, that boobs are okay if you're objectifying them, but they're not okay if they're actually working as, body parts that have a function.
I think the modern feminist movement has been working really hard to change that perception of breastfeeding and game on. This is why I love social media as much as I do, because we were never having these conversations before social media rocked up. The stuff that we are talking about today it's just bringing it all out of the closet, and I love it.
Yeah, me too. I don't like closets.
No, well, I do. I like closets that are full of my clothes.
Yes,
but not full of my issues.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, that's a really interesting. It's a really interesting debate because you were like, I like boobs. I think we need more boobs in the world. So yeah. And I agree in terms of
I really love about having a naked man on page 1.
Yes,
that's where I was going with that. More nudity.
Yes, because I'm really with you on the, let's stop body shaming, and nudity is great and positive and body affirming and, all those kind of things. And yet it's really interesting, isn't it? Because I guess we disagreed because of the context.
Yeah.
It's not about the boobs, it's about what's being done with the boobs. So, other aspects of modern feminism. So
I do like the Vijender in terms of the debate that they are raising. Check them out. I particularly follow them on Twitter. They do a hilarious piss take of women's magazines, and I think there's a real calling from the feminist movement to change the rubbish that we receive through magazines. It's utter crap.
It just really is.
Yeah, time to change it.
I had an interesting situation a couple of years ago. My daughter is she's very advanced for her age, and she was 7 or 8 at the time she sort of started hitting puberty. So, started getting body hair. And it was like armpit hair was the first thing to kind of grow. And the school that she was at the time, she's at a very progressive school now, but the school that she was at the time sidled up to my husband one day after school, and she's also very tall, so she was like, up here, and all the other little kids were kind of come down here. And so, of course, they weren't having to deal with this issue. And in fact, she was taller than some of the kids in the senior part of the school. And they all went off to their senior schools then. So she was, she looked like she was about to kind of go in senior school. And so the school weren't really geared up for her, and they weren't doing things like sex ed or anything because it was so junior. And one of the teachers sidled up to my husband and said, "We think it might be a really good idea if you shaved your daughter's armpits because she's sticking out as being a bit different." And my husband just looked at the teacher and went, "Oh my goodness, you have picked the wrong mother." And I put it on Twitter. I obviously didn't name the school, and I didn't name my child, and I didn't do anything that would cause a problem, but I just put my 7-year-old school have just asked me to shave her armpits so that she's not different. And it got picked up by the Vijender and it went viral. And I mean, it was just unbelievable because, my issue was, are you going to ask a boy to do that? Because if you're not, it's sexual discrimination. And, that's like, really, that's like saying, "I'm sorry, but your skin colour doesn't fit in this school. Could you do something different about it, please?" It literally blew my mind how insensitive it was. And actually, I remember having a conversation with my daughter and saying, how do you feel about your body hair? And she went, "Doesn't bother me." I went, "Okay then." And she's never, ever asked to shave it. She's sometimes asked to trim it because it gets a bit in the way, but she's never asked to change it. It was unbelievable.
I think modern feminism works both ways, because I like to catch myself if I am stereotyping men.
Yes.
I get quite... I have to be really to spot it, and also I can get on my high horse if I see something that is putting men down, so saying that men are useless or can't multitask or any of these kind of stereotypes. I think it works both ways. If we want equality as women, then we need to treat men as equals as well.
I agree. And we were shamed, weren't we? We were shamed towards the middle part of this year because there was the situation where Lenny Kravitz was on stage and his trousers split and his penis fell out for the whole world to see. And he called it Penisgate. And it was just like, I mean, he's been a hero of ours for many years, so it was just like one of the happiest days of our life. But actually there was, and it was right, somebody on social media called out people just, you know, constantly staring at Lenny Kravitz's beautiful penis, because they were saying, we don't like men objectifying women. Who the hell are the women to objectify the men?
Yeah, love it. Really, really important question.
And we both went, oh.
But he's so beautiful.
So beautiful. And it was really good to look at. But anyway, that's not the point. So it's about equality and not objectifying, and coming at people with respect and not shaming them for whoever they, you know, whoever they are.
So if women or men are interested in the feminist movement, where would they go?
Oh, God, I don't really know. I mean...
We're part of a society.
We are part of a society called the Fawcett Society. Got a mug. And they actually support things like gender pay gap issues, making sure that there's enough sort of parliamentary lobbying for domestic violence, sort of funding to make sure that doesn't happen. And they do really good t-shirts. They do t-shirts and mugs, and I actually got my husband a t-shirt that says, this is what a feminist looks like, a man's t-shirt.
Lovely.
Yeah, but really good. So there's lots of places. Just start Googling. There's loads.
Yeah, join the revolution.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you like our ramblings, subscribe here and check us out on Facebook and on our websites, balancewellness.co.uk and reclaimyourlifewithease.com. And we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.